Yeah. What's going on, everybody? I know it's crazy, right? I scheduled a stream and practically on time. Not too often does that happen. Usually I schedule a stream and sometimes I gotta fix some things. Sometimes I forgot something, so I gotta add it. Or sometimes, OBS wants to troll. Let's hope it doesn't troll me today, like it did yesterday, right? But yeah, what's good, everybody? Crazy Dog back with my very special, I guess with a very special live stream for you guys today. As you see the title, and yes, the MLB playoffs are officially here. October baseball is back already. You know, it's weird. It seriously feels like it should just be like May into June. It feels like it wasn't that long ago that the Guardians were in San Diego getting their rear ends kicked in. Right? And here we are. Already. Playoff baseball. And if you want to have a good laugh, go through all the titles, or some of them anyway, of some of my recap preview streams from the last month or so. Yeah, I was a serious doomer the last month. I had no faith in this team catching the Tigers because we were playing like bums. But you know what? Gotta give them credit because they, as I saw, what was it, Woody Harrelson said in Zombieland, nut up or shut up. Well, the Guardians, they grew a pair big time. I mean, our starting pitchers went damn near a whole month worth of games, giving up 2 or less runs. And you're going to win a lot of games when your starters just don't give up runs. And then our bullpen actually decided to be serious for once, which is nice. They locked in big time. And the offense also helped out as well. Because obviously you're not going to win games if you don't score. So, of course, with the playoffs now here, let's take a look at my second half predictions from after the All-Star break. Keep in mind, these are from before the second half started. So this is what I thought would happen in the second half. By the way, let me move myself here. There we go. The hell am I doing with my hands? How am I doing that? I don't know what the heck I'm doing here, but you look at the standings. If you notice, a lot of the teams I had finishing second won the division. The only team that managed to maintain their spot was the Dodgers. The Giants did fall off a cliff, though. That's kind of sad. And I saw today they fired Bob Melvin. Speaking of firing managers, the Twins fired Rocco Baldelli. So, Scott, Fred, Hanson, any other Twins fans that pop in here, y'all fired your manager. And if they pop in, they're probably going to say something like, yeah, we fired Rocco. I'll be like, I know. So that'll be interesting to see what they do. Of course, they traded everybody away. And it's so funny because so many people had the Twins winning the Central this year. It's tough. Tough to see. Guards versus Reds in the World Series would be cinema. Guards versus Reds in the World Series would set everything on fire. Ohio would be a war zone. It would literally be hell is real. Oh my God, Larry. Can't believe you still remember that from all those years ago. Boop. Oh my God, that's so old. God, that was, I think, back when I first really started streaming. Wow. What's up, Larry? One of the original moderators on this channel. There's also a couple Cleveland accounts. There's also Crimsy. I haven't seen Crimsy on here in years, man. Hope Crimsy is doing all right. This time I think I saw Crimsy in one of my streams was it the Texas Tech National Championship game? Like Final Four-ish game? Yeah, it's an OG classic. You're not an OG of the chat if you don't know what boop'em is. If you've heard me say boop, or if you know what he's talking about, you're an OG of the chat. You've been there for a long, long time. But yeah, comparing what I said and what actually would happen, of course, in the AL East, I predicted it would go Yankees, Jays, Red Sox, Rays, and O's. Well, I got the last three right, actually. I just didn't expect the Jays to go on that tear and take over the division. Although the Yankees could have won it if the Rays hadn't sold at the end there. They literally just didn't care about the last game. And the Jays just dropped a billion freaking points on them pretty much. They went off. 13 runs in the final game. They made damn sure they were going to win the division. Got to get back to work. All right. Have a good work session, Larry. So yeah, AL East was relatively easy to pick, I guess. AL Central, I mean, come on. I picked Detroit, Cleveland, Minnesota, Kansas City, Chicago. Well, if we go back to when that happened, actually, let's do that. When I filmed this, I believe it was on July 17th. The Guardians were in fourth place. It was Tigers, Twins, Royals, Guardians, Sox. Wow. That's crazy. AL East, Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays, Rose. So nothing really changed. Nope. Nothing really changed at all. Of course, that was around the time when the Yankees were kind of up and down. And the Red Sox had gone on that tear to actually take second place damn near, too. They'd won 10 in a row at that point. That's crazy. AL West, I had it going Astros, Mariners, Rangers, A's, Angels. Astros, Mariners, Rangers, Angels, A's. I was close. It was Astros, Mariners, Rangers, Angels, A's. So just a few switcheroos and I would have got that perfectly. Well, actually, no, that was at the time. So I figured it was going to be around the same. And then for the NL, at the time, it was Phillies, Mets, Marlins, Braves, Nats. I said it would go Mets, Phillies, Braves, Marlins, Nats. NL Central, I had it going, well, it was at the time, Cubs, Brewers, Cardinals, Reds, Pirates. I had it going Brewers, Cubs, Reds, Cardinals, Pirates. And then the NL West, at the time, Dodgers, Padres, Giants, Diamondbacks, Rockies. I had it going Dodgers, Giants, Padres, Diamondbacks, Rockies. So not much change. Now, how did it finish? Well, obviously, we go to the 28th, the last day of the season. Obviously, Guardians, Tigers, Royals, Twins, White Sox. Well, I got the last three kind of almost the same order. The Royals did pick up a little steam at the end. The Twins are just so bad. You know, it's just crazy how bad the Twins were. AL East ended up Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays, Rose. Oh, we talked about that one. AL West went Mariners, Astros, Rangers, A's, Angels. Ah, the Mariners and the Astros. That's it. I would have had it perfect. Then you got NL Central. Well, the NL East went Phillies, Mets, Marlins, Braves, Nats. I had it going, of course, Mets, Phillies, Braves, Marlins, Nats. So a few flipperoos there. NL Central. I got this one perfectly right. Yeah. I picked this division to go the exact same way it did. It finished Brewers, Cubs, Reds, Cardinals, and Pirates. Of course, the NL Central sending 3 teams to the playoffs. The NL West is sending 2, and the NL East is only sending 1. Tough. That's tough. Dodgers, Padres, Giants, D-backs, and Rockies. So yeah, some of these I was the only one I was spot on with was the NL Central. That's actually crazy to think about. Wow. All right. So that's it for all that shebang, right? That's all for my picks, my predictions for the second half. And let's get into the bracket, shall we? So as you see, everything is done. Let me make myself super tiny so I can fit myself in the corner right here. There we go. Now we can see it all. All right. So I'm going to dig into every single matchup that we see here. So let me pull up the postseason schedule because I'm pretty sure we know most of at least the first 2 games of each series for the wild card. And if you're wondering what series am I going to start with, take a wild guess. If you guessed, well, the first series literally of the postseason tomorrow, yes, Guardians Tigers, 1:00 p.m. first pitch, just like I predicted. So the last 2 times we've faced Scooble, they've been wins. And what was it? A win and a no decision, I believe. The last one, I believe, was a win. And Gavin, well, they call him the Big Rig. So, well, at least some people do. Mainly the broadcasters. And me. Ah, man. But if I had to guess, I think Scooble is going to... If the Guardians can work Scooble, we can get to their pen. I think we can definitely beat them. But we need Gavin to do what Matthew Boyd did last year. Twice. And that is go bar for bar with them. Yeah, we need Scooble to... We need Gavin to match him. And we need to jump on Scooble early. I would love to see Quan and them lock in and have the sweatiest, most try-hardiest freaking at-bats ever. I'm talking 10 plus pitches per at-bat. Work his ass off. Don't let him get comfortable either. If there's a pitch that's close and you know you can foul it off, Do it. Or just do what we did in the 6th inning in Cleveland a few weeks, not even a week ago. Bunt on him. Make him go get the ball. Test his defense. Heck, you might get lucky and have him thinking he's a long snapper again. You know, have him get down on all, in that 3-point stance and try to hike the ball, thinking he's playing football out here. Still can't believe that happened. That whole inning was a nightmare for him. You had the bunt single, you had the bunt, attempted squeeze bunt to move him over, ended up getting on base. Then you got Jose later on second base dancing around, getting all up in Scooble's head. Now, luckily for Tarek, there's no Lane Thomas. Nope, no Lane Thomas this time. He had foot surgery. He's not going to play. So who's going to be the postseason hero this year? Maybe it's J-Rod out of nowhere. Or Brian Roquel. The experience Rocktober. Maybe it'll be someone we didn't think about. Like, how about Chase DeLauder, huh? Guardians fans watching this thinking, huh? Chase DeLauder? What? Apparently he's on the taxi squad. And players on the taxi squad are essentially replacements for any injured players. There's a possibility Chase DeLauder could be on the playoff roster. Could you imagine making your debut in the playoffs? Oh, man. That first Chase DeLauder playoff nuke into the right field seats. It's going to do numbers. Oh, yeah. All right, I'll stop. That's game 1 of the series. And then we go to game 2. It'll be Tanner Bybee on the mound for the Guards. And Slade Ciccone will go game 3. We don't know who the Tigers will be sending, but I assume it'll be some combination of Flaherty and Mize. That's what I am assuming. That's what I'm assuming. So with knowing all that and knowing how we did against Flaherty and Mize this year, but it's not all. Because you get the starters, right? But their lineup is so sus in Detroit. If they play like they've played this month, tomorrow, and that, we're winning this series. We just better hope that their players don't develop a clutch gene. Because, oh my goodness, if they... Of course, we've essentially owned the Tigers' soul this year. And it's funny, Tigers fans will talk about, oh, but we're 4-2 in Cleveland this year. But you know what but 3 of those 4 wins came when we were absolute garbage. That one series in May. Or was it May or whatever? June? Or was it May or whatever? June? Or was it July? I don't remember, but I know it was bad. I think it was in July. Yeah. When we had the 10-game skid. That's it. That's all. Right? That's all. Right? I mean, you look at their lineup. It's solid. Meadows, Torres, Carpenter, Torkelson, Green, Perez, Dingler, McKinstry, Baez. Really good lineup. Their bench, Jake Rogers, Trey Sweeney, Ibanez, Jones, and Malloy. All right. Obviously, we know their rotation. It's actually crazy because if you look at their injured pitcher list. Oh my God. They have a whole rotation's worth of pitchers on IL. Josh Winkowski, Patrick Sandoval. He's been out over a year now. Patrick Sandoval, he's been out over a year now. Dustin Kowski, Patrick Sandoval, he's been out over a year now. Dustin May, again, of course. Tanner Houck, Dick Fitz, Richard Fitz. Dick Fitz, Richard Fitz. Richard Fitz, Hunter Dobbins, and Carter Crawford. Yeah. That's tough. Their bullpen, you know, of course, no Liam Hendricks, no Jordan Hicks. They just traded for him, too. Traded him, they got him in the Devers trade. And then Brennan Bernardino. Yankees take game 2. Right? And then, or they flip flop. Maybe the Red Sox take game 2. And then game 3, you'll have Early versus, I assume, Schlittler. And Schlittler's a dog. So give me a Schlittler. So, yeah, you see the AL side. Mariners, Guardians, Yankees, Jays. Oh, boy. But now let's move on to the NL side. Starting off with the Reds and the Dodgers. Oh, this should be a doozy. Reds and Dodgers. All 3 games will be 9:08 streaming these games. Hope he, takes some 5-hour energy. Because as you know, as he says in his streams, when he starts yawning, he has to take a nappy wappy. Man, come on now. I'm yawning. I gotta go to bed. Bitch. No, not now. Suck it up. Suck it up. And stream through it. And stream through it. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, look at this. I'm drinking water. Oh. Oh, how about this, guys? Don't forget, this stream is brought to you by Great Value Purified Drinking Water. What? Crazy Dog, why do you keep trolling Dashy? Because it's fun. It's fun. Imagine calling your team the big dogs of Ohio, and you only make the freaking playoffs because the Mets completely fell apart. Hey, Crazy Dog, what are you talking about? You did the same thing with the Tigers. Well, yeah, true. But you know what? We won our division. Yeah. So, who's the real big dogs of Ohio? Oh, the Reds of the Reds of the Ohio Cup. You know what'd be really funny though? If we face the Reds in the World Series, we take in the Ohio Cup and we win the damn World Series. 2 trophies in 1. Yeah. That's one thing I love doing. It's trolling the hell out of that dude Dashy. Yeah. Because he's so easy to troll. I mean, come on. Even OGT understands that. Dashy better watch out tomorrow, though. He's going to have the demon trolls out. Because you know trolls don't have a bedtime. They just be hanging out in their freaking in their mom's basement, just trolling the hell out of him. You know the setup too, right? They got their computer, they got their freaking 2-liter of Mountain Dew, they got their big ass bowl of chips or snacks or whatever. Their bed's all crusty and garbage, and they got roaches running around in their freaking room and everything, and you can't even walk in their room because there's garbage everywhere. That's tough, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, Reds and Dodgers. This should be a fun series. Game 1 will be Hunter Green against Blake Snell. Game 2 and Game 3 have yet to be decided, but according to Fangraphs, let's take a look and see how these two teams match up. I think everybody knows where I'm going to be heading with this. But yeah, with the Reds, their lineup is actually pretty solid, to be fair. I mean, of course, they got Ellie De La Cruz, they got TJ Friedl. They got some nice players. But I mean, overall, the Dodgers just outdo them in almost at every spot. The Dodgers are a damn god squad. All right, so I mean, as soon as this lineup this roster thing pops up, I can go through the rosters more roster thing pops up, I can go through the rosters more accurately. You know what? I almost forgot. I could do this. You know what? I almost forgot. I could do this too. Go to ESPN. You know, I might just do that. Because ESPN can tell me the series, how these teams did it. ESPN can tell me the series, how these teams did in the regular season against each other. Too. Yes, we'll do that. Look at that. My brain just went light bulb. Bing. Wow. Don't you just love it when you're doing something and then you just get this insanely awesome idea? It's like, I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. I'll do something completely different. All right. So let's go to the MLB playoff bracket. Of course, going back with the other two matchups I already did, the Guardians won that season series 7-4 or 7-5. Yeah. Of course, they swept us one time in Cleveland. We took 3 out of 4. We took 3 out of 4 in Detroit one game. They took 2 out of 3 in Cleveland. The last series. The Yankees series. That's the one. Because it felt like every time I looked, the Red Sox were kicking the crap out of the Yankees. So regular season series, it went Yankees, Sox. That's back in June. So Sox took 2 out of 3 in the first series. They swept them the second series. Swept them again in the third series. But then the Yankees said, enough. Enough. It's a 4-gamer, so they took 3 out of 4. Okay, but still. Because after that win in the final game of that series in August, the Yankees would win 2 out of 3 of the final series of the year. Just about a week or so ago. Yeah. So that'd be fun. Now we take a look at this series. Reds and Doyers. Obviously, you look at the teams in general, it's like the matchup doesn't seem on paper so even. But hey, man, don't underestimate the Reds. The Reds lineup: Friedl, Marte, Lux, former Dodger, and Duhard, Cruz, Steer, Stevenson, Hayes, and Caprine Hayes, and McLean. Their bench: Trevino, Stewart, Espinal, Benson, and Hayes. Austin Hayes, who's been injured. Yeah, so I like their lineup. Lineup isn't bad. But if you're the Reds, you're going to need your pitcher. A God squad. Yeah. Imagine being an opposing pitcher and having to navigate against this lineup. Ohtani. God. Muncy. Teo Hernandez. Conforto. Edmund, Paez, and Rortvet. You know your lineup is a God squad. When you're the only holes in your lineup are Conforto, and honestly Wortfett Conforto, and honestly Wortfett. Right? That's it. And obviously, when Will Smith is back, that's not a hole at all. And they could always put in a guy like Dalton Rushing. And they could always put in a guy like Dalton Rushing. They could put in Miguel Rojas and Kike Hernandez, who's back again, of course, Hyesung Kim, and Alex Kroll, who they traded for when we thought they were getting Stephen Kwan. Yeah. I'll be honest, when I saw the Dodgers traded for Call, I was like, yep, Kwan's not leaving. Because that was the one team that we thought could trade for Kwan. And they got Alex Call. So, okay. But I think the main difference here is the rotations. Because I love Hunter Green. He's a dog, right? He's a gamer. Other than him, who do they really have? Andrew Abbott, who's a stud. Lodolo, can you trust him in that situation? I don't know. Singer and Littell, if needed. Well, like probably in the bullpen or, yeah. And your bullpen is shaky. Brent Suter, Zach Maxwell, Scott Barblow, Nick Martinez, Chase Burns, Connor Phillips, Graham Ashcraft, Tony Sentian, and of course, Emilio Pagan. But the only thing against the Dodgers is their bullpen is as sus as any bullpen out there. Landon Knack, Justin Robleski, Jack Dreyer, Roki Sasaki, Edgardo Henriquez, Anthony Banda, Blake Trinan, Alex Vesia, and Tanner Scott. There's some good names, but yeah, it's tough, right? It's really tough to determine like how good their bullpen truly is, especially because they have so many good players that are injured. I'm telling you right now, if they had Kirby Yates, if they had Evan Phillips, Michael Kopech, and Bruce Dog Gratterall, get out of here, Reds. You're done. But all of those guys are hurt. And I don't know when they'll be back, if at all. But I do know they're probably not playing in this series. Phillips says Tommy John, he's out for the year, and then some. The rest are shoulder inflammation for Brock Stewart back in August. Kirby Yates has a strained hammy back on September 20th. Michael Kopech's knee inflammation, 9/18. Michael Grove's been out with shoulder surgery since March. And Bruce Dog Gratterall still out for almost a full year now. So, but yeah, it says Snell versus Green, Abbott versus Yamamoto. Oh, God. I think both matchups are going to be fun, but I got to go with the Reds. Sorry, OGT. Sorry, Reds fans. I know you know I'd love to see an All-Ohio World Series, but you're facing a damn God squad. That's just the way it is. But I'll give you some faith here. I do think you guys take one game out from them. Yeah. I think you'll beat Blake Snell. But then Yamamoto makes you look dumb. And then you go to game 3. And I don't know who they'll have out there. If I had to guess, it could be Shohei. Oh my God. Shohei in game 3. Oh God. You're done. Oh, but what about, it doesn't matter. You really think Nick Lodolo is going to match up to Shohei? Even if they don't go Shohei, they could go Glasnow. Which, I mean, okay. Or Sheehan. Or even Kershaw, who I don't even think will be on the wild card roster. So yeah, it's either Shohei or Glasnow, in my opinion. That's tough. Yeah, give me the Doyers in 3. And then we move on to the last wild card round matchup, the Cubs and the Padres. Cubs and Padres, all three games will be at the same time again, 3:08 p.m. By the way, a Reds Dodgers regular season series. It went Dodgers, Dodgers, Reds, Dodgers, Dodgers, Dodgers. Yeah, give me the Dodgers. All but one game. And then we got Padres and Cubs. This should be fun. The Padres and the Cubs. Okay, there we are. So we just gotta wait for that to load up here real quick. Yeah, tomorrow it will be Matthew Boyd against Nick Pivetta. Matthew Boyd back in the playoffs once again, eh? Of course, the winner of this series faces the Brewers. Pivetta Boyd for game one. Sounds like a banger. Overall series, it went Cubs, Cubs, Padres, Padres, Cubs, Padres. So it's as even as you could get. 2-0 Cubs, 2-1, 2-2, 3-3. So yeah, they split. Yes is October 4th. Yes is October 4th. Right? Game one of the ALDS is on October 4th. So we wouldn't have Gavin until probably what, game 3 or so? I really do not want to have to deal with Logan freaking Allen and Joey Cantillo starting game 1 and game 2 against freaking Ryan Wu, Logan Gilbert, and George Kirby or Luis Castillo. Blah. Ah. Oh my God. Allen versus this lineup is literally atomic bomb versus coughing baby times 9. 9 atomic bombs versus a coughing baby. Poor Logan Allen would be at 90 pitches by the 3rd inning. And he'd probably give up like 7 runs too, with how he is. I wouldn't feel good at all about facing these guys. That's why I know some of y'all think I'm a homer. I'm biased. Guardians World Series. No. We just don't have the firepower. Even if we did hang tough with them, their bullpen is very serious. Emerson Hancock, Luke Jackson, Carlos Vargas, former Guardian farmhand, Caleb Ferguson, Gabe Speier, Eduardo Pizarro, Matt Brash, and Andres Munoz. Very serious rotation. Very extremely serious bullpen. And a damn like death squad at lineup. That's a death squad lineup, man. I think we hang tough. But yeah. You know where I'm heading. Seattle. In 5. Mm-hmm. Yep. The thing is, though, I would feel really good against Gilbert and Kirby. And Castillo. We beat the hell out of Castillo every time we face him, seemingly. Every time I see us face Castillo, we always knock him around. At least mostly we do. Most of the times I've watched us against Luis Castillo, we knock him around a bit. Even when he was in Cincinnati, we would knock the hell out of him. Jose Barrios. At first, you face him, and early in his career, he kind of gets you. But like as you see him more and more, you start knocking him around. Look at Verlander, right? All those years when Verlander was in Detroit, early on, we could touch him. But then all of a sudden, it clicked in our heads. We can kick his butt. And all of a sudden, since then, we've been beating the hell out of Verlander ever since. It's not even just because he was old. Even when he since. It's not even just because he was old. Even when he was like in his later days in Detroit, we would give that dude hell. He hated playing us. I know it for sure. But yeah, I'm going to go Seattle in 5. And then, of course, like I've said before, obviously, I'm going Yankees over the Jays. Like I said, spoiler alert, right? Now, the Jays did give the Yankees massive fits during the year, but the Yankees, just like the but the Yankees, just like the Dodgers, have a God Squad, just slightly different. And looking at the Jays lineup, their lineup is really good too. I mean, I would love to be wrong here and have the Jays or the Red Sox knock out the Yankees. That'd be fun, right? Really would be. But again, you got to factor in if this were to go 7 games, if this were to go 3 games, the first round matchup, the Yankees would be sending out Schlittler or Warren, probably Warren, against the top of the Blue Jay rotation, which would be Gausman, according to Fangraphs. But it could also be Scherzer. Could also be Bieber. But it's most likely could be Barrios too. But I think it'll be Gausman or Scherzer. That's mismatch and a half. I do believe the Jays will keep up with the Yankees. Just not enough. I got the Yankees in 5. Moving on to the NL side. Dodgers and Phillies. This would be a fun one. I mean, the Dodgers, do I even really need to go through what they have? I already talked about them. But you look at what they got compared to. So funny. Heineman, Falefa, Schneider, Lupafito, and Miles Straw, another former Guardian. And then you look at their bullpen: Lauer, Brule, Fluharty, Varland. Oh, I'm sorry, Varland, Fisher, Little, Tommy Nance, Yario Rodriguez, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Jeff Hoffman. You can't trust their bullpen. Not against that Yankee lineup. Yeah. So we move on to the NL side. Like I said, Phillies and Dodgers. We already know what the Dodgers have. They have a damn God squad. But man, you look at the Phillies. The Phillies, honestly, could be the one team that might be able to stop the Dodgers. Right? I think they would be the one team that could do it. They have a nice ass lineup. Trey Turner, Schwarber, Harper. Of course, you have your supplementary pieces in the middle. Kepler at the end with JT and Bryson Stott. Obviously, you'd have like Baum and Marsh and Bader as well. And then you have Rafael Marchand, Garrett Stubbs at catcher, Eduardo Sosa, Otto Kemp, Weston Wilson, and Nick Castellanos. But then you look at their rotation. Zach Wheeler's on the mend. They brought up Walker Buehler, though. They traded or they signed him. They claimed, they brought up, or they got Walker Buehler. Yeah, as a free agent. Didn't even know he was a free agent, but yeah. They brought in Walker Buehler. They have Nola back, of course. Suarez, Luzardo, and Sanchez. And then, of course, their bullpen. Walker, Meza, Trevino, Banks, Kirkering, Robertson, Strom, and Duran. I think this could go either way. But I'm going to go with a shocker here. Give me the Phillies. Yeah. Give me the Phillies. In 5. I know. Phillies in 5. Yep. They shock the Dodgers. And yeah. Give me the Phillies to do it on the road. Yeah. I almost said on the road, but no, this is just normal stuff right here. So give me the Phillies in 5. And then we got the Cubs and the Brewers. I already talked about the Cubs, but now it's time to look at the Brewers, the NL Central champions. Feels like they've had this division clinched for a while, which they did. You look at them, I mean, Yelich, Chourio, Terang, Contreras, Frelick, Vaughn, Bowers, Durbin, and Ortiz. Wow. Vikings just lost their tackle, Brian O'Neill, for a little while, so we're not going to deal with him this week. Okay, then. Random NFL news. I like their lineup. Their bench, Danny Jansen, Race Hoskins, Andrew Monasterio, Isaac Collins, and Blake Perkins. Their rotation, of course, would be Peralta, Priester, Patrick, Mizorowski, and Gasser. And then their bullpen. DL Hall, Grant Anderson, Rob Zzdrzny, Tobias Myers, Nick Mears, Aaron Ashby, Jared Koenig, Trevor McGill, and Abner Uribe. Do they finally win a series for the first time in God knows how long? Against the Cubs? I know this would hurt the hearts of Cubs fans. Nah, no. Actually, I really sit back and think about it. I think I trust the Cubs more than the Brewers in this situation. That's why give me the Cubs. The Cubs. I'll say Cubs in 5. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. The the NLCS, Cubs and Phillies. Talk about insanity. God, talk about toxic fan base, like boisterous fan bases. Gee whiz. Chicago and Philly, Seattle and New York. Oh, brother. So we move on to the AL side. Seattle versus the Yankees. Like I said, you'd have the God Squad from the West versus the God Squad from the East. 2 MVP candidates, Big Dumper versus Aaron Judge. Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor for the Mariners as well. Giancarlo and company for the Yankees. Don't really need to talk about what the other team really has. They both have electric bullpens, good lineups, solid starting rotations. But overall, I mean, the Yankees, they won a championship here. And I think they put up a tough fight here. Do I not have the logo? Oh, it's right here. Okay. All right. So yeah. This one I had a logo right there. I don't want to spoil anything. That's the problem. Ah, I love this thing. But anyways, I'm going to go Yankees in 6. Yep. The Yankees in 6. There it is. Okay. Yankees in 6. So they go back to the World Series. Now, who do they face? Phillies or Cubs? You know, I don't really hate the Cubs anymore, but them winning 2 championships in like 9 years, making the World Series twice in those 9 years, and my team hasn't even made it that close besides last year. I know it. I know. If there's one thing I would love to see, it would be Josh from the Sports Fury streaming a Cubs game, World Series against the Yankees. Just thinking about his reaction if they ever pulled it off. That dude might legit burst into tears. Like on stream. He would. Josh is the guy who would ugly cry on stream if that happened. He would. He would burst into tears if that happened. Like, that's crazy. But the Phillies, though, they're trying to get back again. Right. And it's like, I don't know if I can trust the Cubs against the Phillies bullpen and stuff that they have. They have a nice team, Turner, Harper, and that. Sorry, Josh, if you're watching this. I know you just went live. Whoops. See what I mean? I had to fix so many different things here. I could have sworn. Oh, I changed the title, but not the actual words. Oh my god. I am so dumb. Why is San Diego in there? No. I'm going Philly in 6. Yep. The Phillies. Okay. There we go. I got Philly in 6. So, what do you know, guys? In the World Series this year, I got 2 of the most boisterous and toxic fan bases on Twitter going at it. Oh my god. Where's the nearest nuclear shelter? Because, oh my god, on Twitter, these 2 fan bases going at it. New York versus Philadelphia. You could say Philly is like a diet New York with how boisterous their fan bases are. Man. Something I would love to see the Phillies win one. But the Yankees are on a mission this year. You know, they are. If Aaron Judge and Giancarlo and them stay hot, like I think they will, I don't think anybody's stopping them. That is why, against my better judgment, I'm picking the Yankees to win the World Series this year in 6 games. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go launch myself out my window. Really, but you know what I'm saying. If the Yankees win a World Series this year, the only people or only person I'd genuinely feel good for is Bad Dog. Because if you watch Bad Dog's videos, you know, he's probably one of the only Yankee fans on this platform that I actually don't despise. Really? There's a few cool ones though, not gonna lie. There's a few cool Yankee fans on here. Most of that fan base is just a bunch of hooligans, right? And I would love nothing more than to see them get bounced in the first round by the Red Sox. Just think, Fried and Rodon and those guys, I think they're going to do enough to win the World Series in 6 games. Aaron Judge is going to go nuclear and they're going to win in convincing fashion. As long as they don't derp around like they did last year, I think they can do it. I think they can. That's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. So, once again, there's my picks. And hope you guys enjoy the playoffs. I will be live tomorrow, 1 o'clock, for Guardians Tigers. And depending on how I'm feeling, I'm probably just going to sit back. I'm probably just going to sit back and watch the rest of the games, see how things go. Because then game twos, you have some potential clinchers. And then, teams get desperate and stuff. So we'll see what happens. But we'll see. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about doing Freed versus Crochet. Because that's a banger waiting to happen. Potentially. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to just relax for the night and watch some Monday Night Football. So with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Guards Tigers. Let's get it done. I'm out. Bye-bye. By the way, let me know in the comments down below what you think of my picks here. Am I a freaking imbecile for picking the Cubs to lose? Or the Guardians to lose? Or the Mariners? Let me know who you guys have in the comments down below. Hey guys. Bye-bye. Yeah.